sports, if you want to be the best, there are no off days.
Welcome into the No Off Days podcast. I'm Scott Smith. We have Chris Cato to my left. BK is in the booth. Another rousing episode heading your way. We had this last week, we had the rookie mini camp for all NFL teams, so getting a taste of what that looks like with all the guys that were drafted a few weeks back. We have now scheduling released this week. We have some college football scheduling dates are all kind of starting to plug in there as well. I mean, it feels like, I don't know. Did you ever do on Christmas Eve? Did you do unwrap any gifts first? Did you just do the stockings?
No, we didn't. I didn't know that was an option on Christmas Eve until I got older. No, we had to wait until Christmas morning. But after I had a family of my own, we started the Christmas Eve thing. So it kind of feels like where we are.
It's fun to see some of this stuff come together. And, of course, I mean, we're counting down the days. But this show is going to be heavy on some football.
Because that's what we like. And that's what our audience
We're looking ahead.
demands.
But we also are we're going to be staying in the moment as well because we have a couple big-time events going on this week that we will, of course, dive into. Let's bring in BK inside the booth. BK, can you give the good folks at home an idea of what to expect on this week's show?
Well, it's a busy week this week because we got not only college football camps, rookie camps that have started we got to talk about, but we've got the PGA Championship, another golf major, and another horse major, another Triple Crown leg. So we'll talk a little bit about that. You want to make some more picks on that? We've always done picks.
Yeah. No, I think we have to set something up. And
we did so well with our Derby picks.
We've been doing a lot of drafts lately.
That's fine. We're kind of that way. Okay. So, and then at the end of the show, kind of tied in with horse racing and the Preakness and everything, why don't we do something with, I give you a name and you tell me whether it's a racehorse or a race car driver.
Okay. Oh. Last year it was monster truck or
wrestler.
Or wrestler.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So now you're assuming that Scott and I don't know much about race car driver names or horse names, which we don't.
Yeah, but you can kind of tell by some of these names, I would think. Yeah, it's not going to be too difficult.
Yeah, I think Dick Trickle was a horse.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And Bobby Elliott, also a horse.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Very good. Well, I'm looking forward. Have you guys ever been to a horse race?
A legal one?
No,
I haven't. No.
Are there illegal horse races?
I'm sure. Probably a few guys down in Seminole right now.
What's the sporting event? It always takes place in other countries, but where they have the chariots on the back.
Oh yeah.
They're whipping around the track, but they got like a little buggy on the back.
Yes.
Well, that's harness racing.
That's harness
racing.
Is
that what that is?
That's right.
We have that here.
That looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
What if you
we
hired
have that here in Tampa? We have
not
that?
here in Tampa, but I think up in like Jersey and up in that Northeast they have harness racing.
That's what it's called, huh?
I think so. I mean, if I could be completely
So do
wrong.
they still have the little like whippy do? That is that like why are they on the back? Is it just to kind of simulate like Roman chariots?
I have no idea, but I guess it helps. I'm sure that those horses can't run just like thoroughbreds, so their pacing's a little bit different, so maybe that's why.
Maybe they don't take kindly to saddles. They're like, please, you can put a wagon behind me, but don't put a saddle on me.
Or maybe it's like for the bigger jockeys.
Right, 250-pound
Right,
guy.
like a guy like me. Like I got to get in the harness.
Yeah, get back there in the rickshaw. Yeah.
In fact, you're weighing more than our horse. Why don't you do the running here?
But you still get to wear the little silk, the little jersey with the funky hat.
A little tight, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you ever been to what's the big park in New York?
Yeah, Saratoga?
No,
Central Park.
Yeah.
Oh,
they do that. They have like people running around.
Yeah.
They're training for that. You think?
Yes, they'll carry you to the other side of the park. I've seen those people. That's a fun way to earn money. It looks like.
All right, I think we've exhausted this point until a little bit later in the show. We'll dig it back up again. Thank you, BK. I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you in a minute. If you're listening and you want to watch, go to fox13news.com/nodpod. If you're watching and you want to listen or subscribe, take out your phone. You can zap the QR code on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there, and you can find all of our shows. I believe this is 82.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
I believe this is John Taylor for sure. All right, please subscribe. fox13news.com/nodpod. All right, Chris, so, now that we have the rookie minicamp in the books, we got OTAs coming up, I think, next week. And there'll be a series of weeks of OTAs, which, of course, is voluntary, optional in the NFL.
That's what the O stands for, optional.
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought it was.
It does not. It's
it
organized.
Yeah, that's what organized.
Yes.
Okay. But some people may treat it as optional.
Some are a little bit more organized than others.
Yeah.
But what we have had is a lot of contracts here within the last few weeks since the free agency date. Then you had kind of the franchise tag deadline, and then July 1st is like the deadline for everybody that had been tagged to then agree to a long-term deal, or else they're locked in. And now I don't believe there's a single person that'll be playing on the franchise tag in 2024, because the last to do it, to sign their long-term deal, was the Bucs' Antoine Winfield Jr. Yeah. So, and he signs a mega deal, the biggest contract ever for a defensive back, not just a safety, but a defensive back. And I believe I'm on record, Chris, as saying that he deserved an 8-year contract.
Yes, that was episode 62.
Yeah,
I believe you said that.
A few episodes back, I said, as long as you can make the terms, lock him down. So I was thinking maybe we kind of go through some of these, because some big money deals have landed, even just within the last week. And let's give our grades. We give draft grades. Why can't we grade contracts?
This is really where the grade should come, because it's post-draft and post-free agency signing. Yeah.
And, you can grade on a curve. You can give it, if you want to look back at what they've accomplished or look forward or use kind of a little bit of both, feel free to do that. But let me throw the first one out there, and I believe this is the most recent, and that would be the Detroit Lions' Jared Goff. It's a 4-year, $212 million contract. $170 million of that is guaranteed. And we obviously saw what he did last year with the Lions, leading that team that has a bunch of offensive weapons, and proving, I think, that he's more than just a game manager. He can win games for you. That there was a quite painful NFC Championship loss to the Detroit or to the San Francisco 49ers. But I don't think that was much of the fault lands on Goff. He's a guy that's been to the Super Bowl. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl, but has not yet crossed that threshold. So how would you grade that contract?
I'll go B+ for now.
Okay.
The only thing that held me back from giving it an A is it is a lot of money, and it seems high for a guy who is a very good quarterback, but I don't think he's an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
So, but if Detroit wins its first Super Bowl ever in the next 2 years, then it's an A. So, but I think for now B+ is good.
Yeah, I was right there, kind of B+, A- for the same reason. I think he's a very good quarterback, not elite. But I think given what the climate looked like in terms of free agents and what was available, he was the right guy to stick with. He was the guy that you've already invested in. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder, and he's probably the best guy for the job right now. How about Kirk Cousins? A 4-year, $180 million contract, $100 which is guaranteed with the Atlanta Falcons. How would you grade that one? I believe you're a fan.
Well, I was a fan of the Michael Penix pick, so I guess I could be contradicting myself now.
That was the point.
I'll say a B-.
Okay.
He is a guy that can get you to the playoffs now in a division where you could make the playoffs. We think the Achilles is all healed up. We hope it is. He's passed their screening, I believe. They're physical for that. Yeah. It's a lot of money, but if it doesn't work out, or you think Michael Penix is ready to go, it's a 4-year, $180 million, but you could, after first 2 years are guaranteed, so $100 million, still a lot of money to soak up. But I do think he's the kind of quarterback that elevates your team. I'll go B- on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. He was the best quarterback, I believe, in the pool of free agents. I mean, there was the question about the injury, but Kirk Cousins is he's a proven quarterback. He's played at a very high level for a very long time.
I put him and Jared Goff kind of in that same. Would you?
I would. Goff doesn't have the injury history there, but yeah, I mean, I think number wise, I don't know. Cousins probably is beyond even what Goff has done. He's been playing a little bit longer. So I would probably give it a C, just in light of obviously the Penix pick. It just doesn't make sense. It seems like not a real solid plan in how you wanted to go about that. I think he signed mid-March to have the draft about a month and a half later and to go 8th overall. We've already beaten that one, but because of the other moves. If this was a guy that I thought was maybe a little bit more longer-term play, then I would say, okay, well, then the money makes sense. but you're investing $100 million at the very minimum for maybe a 2-year project until you get to your next guy. I just don't know if I love the contract. I do like the player. Baker Mayfield, 3-year, $100 million contract. 50 of that is guaranteed with the Bucs.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this some here. I think we thought that they had to pay him, that was fair market value. That's what he could have gone out and gotten that or maybe a little more at another place based on his 1-year prove-it deal, where he certainly proved it last year, and the guys love him. He's galvanized the locker room. He's a winner. The players love him. The fans love him. So, yeah, I'll probably go an A- just because it's still, we don't know. We've had one season of kind of good Baker, going back to what he was like his rookie season.
Yeah, I'm going to go A because I think, it's proven that it's a safe deal for a quarterback that's starting in this league that is not simply a bridge. That's probably what you're going to be paying, right? I don't know that you could have gotten out if you wanted to compete for Kirk Cousins. That's fine, but you get a little bit more continuity with Baker, even though it's a new offensive coordinator. I give that one an A. Let's go different position now, okay? Derrick Henry. So he signed a 2-year, $16 million contract with the Ravens. 9 of that is guaranteed. 30-year-old quarterback, going to a new team, obviously, and where they do run the ball a lot, but a lot of that run is on their quarterback's legs.
Yeah. I'd say a B- just because of what you mentioned, his age. He's got some wear and tear on him. He's missed almost every season. The last 4 seasons, he's missed a few games because of injury. I don't remember if he did last year. He might have played the whole season. But anyway, injuries were an issue. Yeah. 2 years ago, he missed half the season. A year before that, he missed a lot. And, I thought what the Ravens should have done was address, Derrick Henry is great when he's got a little space and he breaks free. But when you meet him at behind the line of scrimmage and get to him first, he's that's how you bottle him up. And their offensive line is the concern for me with the Ravens. So I think I'll probably go C+ on the Derrick Henry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I originally thought that, but the more I kind of looked at it, it just feels like it's a solid deal. To me, it's an A- deal. The knock is, he's an aging quarterback. Yeah, if you have concerns in the offensive line, but I think this situation just fits perfect. He had more carries than any other running back in the NFL last year. I think he had 280 carries.
Well, the offense,
He in Baltimore, he will have probably 100 to 80 fewer carries. So that's going to lengthen his career. The focus in that offense is always 100% on Lamar Jackson. So here for the first time ever, he is not the focal point in this offense.
Right.
And that's a mobile quarterback. And if you scheme up your run game, I'm sure you're going to open up opportunities for him. Yeah. So you got a little thunder lightning kind of combo in Baltimore. So I kind of like it. Let me give you one more quarter.
What was your grade? Did you say?
I gave it A-.
An A- to my C+.
Yeah.
I feel like
the only knock is that he is aging, and injury is an issue. But man, if there's a situation that would work for Derrick Henry, this seems like it may be one of the better ones.
Yeah.
How about Saquon Barkley? So he goes 3 years, 37, almost 38 million with the Eagles. 26 of that is guaranteed. I think he came off a healthy season.
He did
last year or the year before. I think he might have missed a couple of games this last year.
He was healthy for most of the year last year, and he looked really good at a lot of moments. A good pass catcher. I didn't know, the Eagles said goodbye to DeAndre Swift, I guess, so that was a need. It just seems like there were other options out there. What was the value of the contract again?
Almost 38 for 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's
26 of that is guaranteed.
This is a little much with his injury history, and also given what else is out there and what you could have drafted. I'll probably go a C+ on that one as well.
And my bigger concern is just the Eagles as a whole. So I don't know that's. Their offense died last year about the 3/4 mark.
Right?
Yeah. And so I'm a little concerned that maybe just it won't be a great fit. But so I don't know. A lot of money. They're printing money in the NFL.
They are.
All right. So now that we kind of have set the table with what the free agency moves have been made and the big contracts that have been signed, we're through the draft. Let's do a power ranking. All right, how you see it, maybe a quick reason why, and I'll let you kick things off. Whatever you want, AFC, NFC.
All right, let's just go NFC, which I found the hardest to do. I'll say that out front, and let's put the 49ers back in that number 1 slot. Yeah, just like we saw them finish the season last year. I like, we were worried about them trading some of their weapons. Maybe Deboer goes. They didn't do that. And they add Leonard Floyd to help out Nick Bosa with that pass rush. And so, yeah, I still like the Niners there in the NFC.
Yeah, they didn't lose a whole lot. Yeah. So I'm with you there. I have them as my number 1 team in the NFC as well.
All right, you take the next one.
All right, number 2 in the NFC, I got the Detroit Lions, the team they lost to in the NFC Championship game. I mean, they have committed. I mean, that you'd love this if you were a Lions fan and you see the type of financial commitment that they're making to the guys that they have there. But $450 million pledged to 3 guys all within the last couple of weeks. So that's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, the left tackle, and then Jared Goff. So that shows you that they're invested long term. You got more seasoning for guys like Laporta, Gibbs, Jameson Williams. I mean, so they have a lot of young players. The back end of their defense they kind of addressed as well. They went out and traded for Carlton Davis. Davis is a guy that he's got a lot of talent, and in the right defense, I think he can be a really quality cornerback. So we shall see if he fits in this Aaron Glenn defense perfectly. And then they went out and got, I thought was one of the great picks in the draft, as late in the draft as they selected, and that was to get your boy out of Alabama, Terry, and that I think locks down the cornerbacks for this team. So I think they addressed the back end of that defense, which was a question mark. And I don't think they really lost anything. So, I mean, they still got the 1-2 punch there at running back. The receivers look pretty strong. As long as everybody's healthy, I got them as number 2.
Yeah, let's just keep being in sync here. I hate it when I agree with you on things, but that's who I have as number 2. Detroit, you made all the points there. That
we're going to defer, I think, on this next one.
Probably so. No, I just want to button up Detroit by saying I think the secondary was the most needed area to improve that, and I think they've done that through the draft and through the signing of a couple guys, Davis and Amik Robertson there. So Lions, number 2.
Beautiful. All right, so number 3. Let's see if we're on the same page here.
Well, given that you foreshadowed by saying you think the Eagles' offense died and you don't know if it will resurrect itself,
I just don't know. I have no confidence.
I still you give
my
me
last memory of them was just this
floundering,
doddering. Yes,
I don't know. I've got faith in Sirianni to get that right there. You still got A.J. Brown. You got Devontae Smith. They locked both of those guys down for a couple of more years, and I still believe in Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to keep Philadelphia at 3 there. I like that. My bigger concern wasn't so much the offense; it was the defense was awful last year. Like the defense just started leaking oil halfway through the season. So what do? They go out and hire Vic Fangio. They improve the secondary by signing C.J. Gardner-Johnson, used their first 2 draft picks on Quinion Mitchell, and then I think they got maybe the steal of the draft in Cooper DeJean falling as low as he fell. So plus he's going to be one of these guys that returns kicks. I might bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl at 17-1 right now.
All right.
What do you think?
Easy there, Cowboy. And at number 3, I got the Cowboys.
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
No.
I think
they didn't do anything. They went out and re-signed Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, I don't love that, but the pieces that they have already. I mean, yes, they did lose guys. They lost their left tackle, Tyron Smith. They lost Tony Pollard, their running back.
They lost another tackle or another offensive lineman too.
But they went out and drafted a first-round tackle, probably going to slide in there at left tackle and the kid out of Oklahoma. But you got Dak Prescott, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Brandon Cooks, you got Micah Parsons, you got DeMarcus Lawrence.
And no depth.
You got Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, but, I mean, you have, like, frontline guys that are some of the best at their position in the NFL. I just think that I am with you. I think the NFC gets a little murky, and so this is my best to just say, hey, the talent that they still have, I think, is still pretty exceptional.
And they still have Mike McCarthy, so we're gonna roll with them.
Despite that, yeah. All right, we got the AFC now. Let's try to go a little bit quicker, see if we can pick up our pace. In number 1, I don't know if we have any difference here, but I think it's the Chiefs.
Kansas City. Okay.
I'm willing to just say because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are still together that I rest my case.
All right.
But
I'm willing to say because Mahomes and Reed are still together.
Well, but they actually have receivers now. Yeah. So they went out and got Marquise Brown, and then this Xavier Worthy. Yeah. It's like one of the fastest, maybe the fastest receiver in the draft. Mm-hmm. So runs a 4.21. So yeah, they got some weapons now.
Yep. Me 3-peat. Okay, number 2.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one.
Went to Texans on this one.
So did I.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right.
I love the trade for Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I think they got the best free agency signing in the whole offseason in Danielle Hunter. You put that guy, that pass rush, that sack production up there with Will Anderson Jr., boy, that defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And again, similar to the Packers, they have a young receiving core, and now you're adding Stephon Diggs on top of that. I just think that offense could be extremely explosive, and they bring in some veteran guys to help kind of fill out the defensive side of the ball, and Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson and Azeez Al-Shahir, who's a linebacker from the Niners that will plug in as a starter for them. Yeah. So I really like the Texans this year. All right, in at number 3, I'm going to go down south. I'm going to go the Miami Dolphins in at number 3.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, they lost some key guys. You missed Christian Wilkins, Robert Hunt, Andrew Van Ginkel. Those are tough guys to replace. You lose your D coordinator and Vic Fangio. But let's see. You add Jordan Poyer. You have Shaq Barrett, who is coming in from the Bucs. I think kind of he could be a sneaky good pickup here that might have something to prove. And then they obviously already have a ton of offensive weapons that make them an exciting offense. Yeah. Odell Beckham Jr., how he factors in. I'm sure Mike McDaniel's looking at his chops, figuring out how to get all these guys.
I mean, look, OBJ had some big plays last year for the Ravens, and this offense. If you get Waddle and Tyreek. Defenses have to focus on them. It's going to open up some things for OBJ. I have Miami 3-2.
Okay. All right. Very good. Coming up on the other side, we are going to talk a little college football. I know something that Chris, that's the reason he showed up today.
That's it.
We made it through the NFL talk, now to the real activity. We're talking college football coming up on the No Off Days podcast. Welcome back to the nodpod. Remember when you were a kid, you'd make those paper chains that would count down the days to, either Christmas or your birthday or some major milestone?
Yeah.
Chris has one of those at his desk, and it's at 100 links in the chain now.
We are down to 100. I've been, there's all sorts of paper shredded around my desk from the other days. Yeah, 100 days until Florida State and Georgia Tech kick off the 2024 college football season in
Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland. It will be, let's see, you've got Brent O'Kee going against Mike McNorville and his squad there. So we're 100 days out. And again, this is when it kind of starts to feel real. All the programs have gone through their spring, and the transfer portal is finally closed again, so you kind of know what you have on your roster, and it's getting exciting.
And this season just has so much activity, so much change. Seismic shifts have been taking place in this sport. And really, this is kind of, it may be one of those landmark years in the sport. I don't want to overstate it, but I'm just looking at all the dynamics that have changed in terms of, the players transferring individually, schools moving to different conferences. You have a different postseason format.
Yeah.
The NIL game, all that kind of stuff factors into it as well. Coaching changes. The best college football coach of all time retires, and now there's major question mark. So there's a lot of changes in the air. So I say we bring PK in, and let's kind of lay out what we think are our top 3 storylines that we individually, personally think are the most compelling, the things that you want answers to, and you can't wait to find out as this college football season begins. And because we've been kind of filibustering the time, we'll let BK kick this thing off.
Yeah,
Brian,
please.
what is the number 1 storyline going into the college football season from your perspective?
For me, my perspective, number 1, it's got to be Cam Ward down in Miami. This guy has...
Wait. That's your number 1?
Well, I had 3.
I know.
You said Brian could talk. No,
Sorry.
Now,
Sorry.
Brian,
go ahead.
No, Brian, answer honestly. Even if you and I, may share the same agreement on
not.
one.
And the thing I'm looking forward to most come August 31st, September 7th, 6th is the Kalen Deboer era kicking off.
Yeah, of course.
But
all right. Well, I just wanted
TV,
to obviously.
I don't want to. I've been trying to cut back on this Alabama talk. I've been seriously trying.
Why? Why? This is what the world wants to hear.
But I think it's too much, man.
It's never
It's
too much.
okay. I'll hold you guys in check.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most, Scott, Cam Ward down in Miami. This guy comes in out of nowhere. He was going to go to the NFL draft and then not. And then this guy, I honestly think would have been a second-round pick in the NFL. Yeah. And then he just all of a sudden says, you know what, I'm going to play at Miami. 7,000 yards passing these 2 years, up at Wazoo. And now he just falls in the lap of Cristobal. And then he brings
in the lap. How much money do you think Miami paid for him?
I'm sure that was a factor.
You think that was the number one QB portal hit? Do you think he was tops?
Experts don't even have him. They have him as the fourth best quarterback in the ACC.
But I'm talking about best
portal.
Yeah,
acquisition.
portal. Yeah, the best quarterback the best acquisition in the offseason.
I mean,
DJU. I mean, that was huge.
Will Howard, Ohio State.
Howard,
yeah, I think Cam Ward might be the best.
I think yeah.
You know, I mean, Sayin.
He hasn't played a college snap yet,
but I just think the fact that he's behind Haynes King at Georgia Tech. You kidding? And plus, I think this is just going to help Miami if Cristobal can stay out of the way, stay out of the coaching way during the season. Miami may have some a bright future ahead of them this year.
Yeah, they got a ton of. I mean, he's had like back-to-back like top 5 recruiting classes. So
he needs to get it done this year for sure. And they've bought a great roster. Can I say Brian's number one and the number one thing that I think? And I don't think this is just an Alabama homer thing. I think the college football as a college football fan base, everyone wants to see what does it look like in Tuscaloosa post Nick Saban. 17 years of this guy patrolling the sidelines and raging at players and refs and having just incredible run of success there. You get Kalen Deboer, this guy who led Washington to the national championship game last season. All reports coming out of, first of all, I think he held a roster together remarkably well considering the players that left after Saban announced his retirement. I think he did the best that anyone could have done in keeping some important pieces intact and also getting some other players to come in through the portal. And the reports out of Tuscaloosa is that it's a different world now down there around the football facilities. There's music playing, people are smiling, players are enjoying themselves.
Do you think these are good changes?
Well, that's what I want to see. Here's what I want to know, because if you look at Alabama's schedule this year, it's tough. This SEC schedule's tough. And so my concern is if you lose...
Is Mercer on the schedule twice this year?
Just once. We start with Western Kentucky. If you lose 3 games, Alabama fans, are you going to be able to not lose your minds? You're going to be patient. And I've looked at this schedule just real quick. I do see, and this should tell you all you need to know, that the Vegas odds makers have set their win total at 9.5, which tells you that they're thinking people are going to buy into the Alabama factor. No, Bama's going to find a way to win 10 games. I see 3 losses on this schedule. And that doesn't mean it's a bad season. And also, you could still get into a 12-team playoff with 3 losses.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, I'm just excited to see what this team looks like, what it looks like offensively. We saw how explosive he was at Indiana and Fresno State and Washington. And I can't wait to see what it looks like in Crimson.
I think as long as those 2-3 losses that happen, if they happen later, once you get into the SEC slate against legit opponents, then I think it's forgivable.
You're going to lose to Georgia, probably.
That's forgivable.
Yeah.
But if you drop a game that you shouldn't early, look out.
Yeah.
Look out. So anyway, my number one story, and it's hard to put these things in order, but I think it's just like I'll start with just what's right in front of us. I think week 1 slate, like you got these games that are just like really they are going to be line in the sand games. I think you're going to learn a lot. You got Clemson taking on Georgia. That game is going to be in Atlanta, where Georgia lost the SEC championship game. Clemson returns most of their offense. You got Miami versus Florida. When was the last time these 2 teams met? What was that like?
2019.
2019.
Wow, that's a big one.
That one's in Gainesville.
That is the coaches have to prove it bowl. Like that's Napier and Cristobal, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
You got Notre Dame A&M. That one at Texas A&M in College Station. You got a Sunday night game, LSU USC. Wow. One of the new members of the Big Ten. That game in Vegas. I just think that these games are going to pit these new kind of rebuilt conferences, these power conferences against one another. I mean, I know that it's going to be a discussion that will go on throughout the course of the season, and at the end we'll try to figure out which conference really now rules the roost. But I mean, I think that LSU USC game will kind of give you some early indicators. But I just think week 1, I mean, you got some major games, and there's some other ones that are of intrigue. But for my money, right out of the gates, I get to see what it looks like.
That's saucy. I like it too.
All right, BK. You got no?
Yeah, this number 2 is actually probably should have been number 1, but it's what's going to happen up in Gainesville. I mean, no head coach since Urban Meyer has gone 4 years there in Gainesville since that time. This is Napier's 3rd year. It's a prove-it year for the guy, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
You know, and this schedule, holy cow, it's brutal. You mentioned Miami right out of the gates. So you're going to find out exactly what your team is. You got Graham Mertz.
It's a home game, though, right?
It's a home game, but, you know.
But if you lose it and get off on the wrong foot, oh
exactly.
boy.
And just look at the schedule here on the backside. This is just from November on, okay? You got the Georgia game in Jacksonville. Then you got at Texas. Then you got LSU, Ole Miss. Those are at home. Then you go to Tallahassee. Those are all back-to-back. No off weeks in there.
Yeah.
So,
well, you mean no off days.
No off days, yeah.
No off days. So, if you drop, let's see, okay, Florida, let's say they start out hot. Maybe they beat Miami, but they're sitting there like middle of October. They're 6-0. Things are looking good. Looks like Napier's got it turned around. You could lose your last 5 or 6 there.
Well, didn't they lose 5 straight last year coming coming home?
Yes.
And then at that point, if you start stumbling out of the gate, you got to wonder when DJ's going to get in there.
Well, that's
and that would buy kind of Napier maybe some more time.
It's a little bit of an insurance policy.
It is a little bit.
Like you don't want to start him right out of the gates, but yeah, if Mertz struggles at all, you got to go to the kid.
Yeah, I think another storyline that I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out is this new SEC with Texas and Oklahoma in. I mean, it just, 2 of the biggest brands out there join the conference, bring all that sweet money and all those eyeballs with them, and Texas is riding high. I mean, you've got a team with Sarkisian who made it to the playoff last year, and, if you look at a lot of the projections for the SEC, the power rankings are Georgia 1, Texas 2. And then there's kind of discussion over Bama, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee. But a lot of people are thinking this Texas team's going to enter the SEC with a bang, and they've got a schedule that is favorable, about as favorable as an SEC schedule can be, outside of hosting Georgia, which they get Georgia at DK Royal there in Austin. Let's see, their other conference opponent. They go to Michigan week 2. You talked about some saucy week 1 games. They go to Michigan week 2, but I think Michigan's going to be down this year. Then they have this gauntlet of Colorado State, UTSA, University of Louisiana Monroe. Their SEC opponents are Mississippi State. Yeah, Jeff Lebby. We'll see Oklahoma, which is obviously they're always playing at the Cotton Bowl there, and that's always a tough game. But they get Vanderbilt, they get Arkansas, they get Kentucky, they get Texas A&M. I think that it's about as favorable as it could get. And Oklahoma is almost the opposite. Oklahoma's schedule is about as tough as Florida's. So, but I think they're going to beat some teams. Oklahoma will, that people would think maybe they shouldn't beat. Brent Venables, this is year 2 for him. I think they're going to be much improved. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at is how is this going to change the power dynamic in the SEC?
Well, if you're going to take the SEC, then I got big question marks over the Big Ten. Obviously, you have 4 Pac-12 schools that come in. I mean, as a whole, I'm curious, how these Pac-12 teams fare in all these new conferences, right? So you have some Big 12, you got some Big 10, you got some ACC. So that I'm curious how they'll fare against the other competition. But specifically in the Big 10, can a team like Oregon and Washington keep that same level of dominance against the likes of Michigan and Ohio State? How far does Michigan fall, they having lost a bunch of talented players? And I think even you could throw in there the question marks over Ryan Day's future for whatever validation you want to give those. This is kind of a big year. Like if you don't beat Michigan this year, I mean,
but I don't think those are too.
Well,
I wouldn't worry about him losing his job. If he lost to Michigan, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to lose to Michigan.
That's one game. Anyway, so yeah, I got questions about the Big Ten and how all these new pieces are going to work out with 4 new teams.
I think I think it's Ohio State and Oregon at the top of the Big Ten now. I mean, I think. And they played? Didn't you say they play early in the season, like week 2?
They not week 2,
pretty early in the season.
Yeah, I want to say like week 4ish, something in there. Yeah,
they may get a rematch later on.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? Anything else on your radar that you're really excited to see how it plays out?
Scott kind of hit it on a little bit about this week 1 matchups. I'm kind of interested in kind of curious to see what Fox is doing. Not to be a homer, but what Fox is doing. They've been trying for years to make inroads here on this college football, and I think this year they're about to do it with this whole Pac-12 Big Ten merger. First of all, the Big Ten games, these big noon games, they're starting to get quality games. Right out of the gate, they're going to have Texas and Michigan. Holy cow! Right out of that's September 7th, and then the week after that, Alabama and Wisconsin. And then this year,
an 11 a.m. kickoff in Madison. Oh, what a waste.
11 a.m. Yes, that's Madison time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that doesn't excite. I want to. That needs to be a bigger game anyway. But I know.
Bama fan. I'm glad it's at noon.
Okay.
And then they got Ohio State, Michigan this year at the end of the year. But also, what Fox is doing is they're starting to show some primetime Friday games because we always wondered how are you going to get these, the West Coast packed Big Ten teams. It's hard to say now. into the schedule, and I think that's going to be perfect. You can get a primetime game of Oregon playing somebody, and that's a primetime Friday night. Get them in, and so they got a whole slate of those games before anybody else plays. So I think I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out this year.
Yeah, if you could fill the schedule every day of the week, we'll be happy with that.
It's getting there, yeah.
I love it. I love that for Fox too. Getting that on a Friday night.
Yeah,
maybe that'll get me out of some late newscasts. That'd be cool. I guess the other thing that I'm really curious to see is when we look at who is going to be the big dogs in 2024. You start with Georgia, I believe. I start all the odds makers out there start with Georgia and Ohio State, and it's quite a separation if you look at the odds between Georgia plus 300 to win the national championship now, Ohio State plus 450, and then you go down to like Texas, LSU. There are a couple others around plus 800. Oregon is plus 1,000. So there's kind of a gap in the minds of the odds makers as to, these two teams are a cut above everyone else. But I really want to see if that's the case. And again, we mentioned I went through Georgia's schedule earlier. I could see them getting through that unscathed. I mean, obviously they bring back, I think the best quarterback in the SEC is Carson Beck. And we know how Kirby has reloaded at every position every year the past few years. They didn't lose double-digit players to the NFL draft, this past draft, like they did the previous 2 drafts. So, yeah, Georgia's going to be loaded, and I do expect them to come out on top in the SEC. Ohio State, again, it could come down to that game. Their schedule pretty favorable. They play at Michigan State, they play Iowa, and then at Oregon October 12th. I think that's the toughest game on their schedule. I don't think Michigan's going to be as good. And you do get Michigan at Ohio State this year, so Michigan's coming to your place. So, I could see that coming down. The question is, in a 12-team playoff format, I think a beautiful thing about the 12-team format is it will make it easier to make the playoffs for a lot of teams, but it also makes the road to the championship harder. So if you're one of these teams like a Georgia or Ohio State and you somehow don't play your A game in one of these playoff games. Or there's an injury. Yeah. Carson Beck goes down, whoever. Then your chances of making that championship game, I think it got a little tougher, but I still want to see. I do think these are the 2 best programs right now in college football, and we'll see if it plays out where they meet on the field, in early January of 2025.
Well, you set up my final point, which is actually probably the thing I'm most looking forward to, and that is the 12-team playoff. And can we now settle the question that BK has been pondering for at least a year's time now, which is how much does it take away from the regular season and the conference championships? I think year 1, you're probably going to get a good taste of that right out of the gates. At the end of the day, at the end of the playoff, do you say, man, these weeks during the regular season did not matter, these conference championship games did not matter, or are we going to be able to sit here at the end of the season and say, hey, net plus all the way across the board? That's what I think it will be, but we shall see. That to me, that's the biggest question. And then at that point, we could start lobbying for a 2014 plan.
Oh, it's coming.
All right.
It's coming.
Okay. Coming up on the other side, we are going to do our draft. We are going to draft horses. We are going to draft golfers. It is, what are we calling this? our Fairways and Furlongs Draft is
you
coming
went with that
up
one? Okay.
on the No Off Days podcast.
I thought you were going with bridles and birdies.
Welcome back to the No Off Days podcast. We have a double-decker of fun this weekend. We got the PGA Championship on the golf side of things, and we have the Preakness, the second leg of the Triple Crown, on the horse racing side of things. And since we have been doing drafts in recent weeks of both of these type of events, I think we have a combination event. We have a 6-round draft of, we'll call it the Furlongs and Fairways draft.
Furlongs and Fairways, okay.
So here's the rule, okay? We are going to pick 6 athletes, all right? Horses or golfers. It does not matter. You have to pick at least one in each.
Is the golfer riding the horse?
Yeah. No.
No. Okay.
Okay. So let me back on track. Sorry. Okay. It's very complicated. Okay, but you could pick 5 golfers. You could pick 1 horse. You could pick 5 horses, 1 golfer. Mm-hmm. The goal here is we're treating it like a parlay. You have to win both the PGA and the Preakness in order to be a legit winner, okay?
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but I think that's going to be hard to do.
Of course. Whatever your strategy is, you have to, you could go more or less. You go evenly split down the middle. We have already selected our draft order, and this was done fairly. Everybody is witness.
Yes.
I won the draft order, so I will go first. Chris will go second, and Brian will go third. Let's keep it nice, short, to the point.
We can't do that.
Of course we won't. All right. The Fairways and Furlongs draft. With the number 1 pick, I'm going to stay on the golf side, and I've learned my lesson. I'm going with Scotty Scheffler. He's won 4 of his last 5 tourneys. He has taken a 3-week hiatus. He's going to win this one for baby Scheffler. He's winning his first PGA championship. I got Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, all right. Let me switch over to Pimlico and go to the horsey side. That is the track they race at, right? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. All right, I'm going to take the favorite in that field. I'm going to go with the winner of the Kentucky Derby, Mystic Dan. Right now, best odds on the board. I think I've got my horsey winner now. Brian, what do you think?
All right.
I'm going to stay with the Preakness. Give me Muth, 5-2.
Shut your Muth.
8-5.
Yeah, I think Muth is the odds-on favorite.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, I thought Dan was. Whoops, I should have. I didn't analyze this very carefully.
Okay, with the second round selection, I'm going to stick with golf and a guy that I picked last time. It's hard for me to say no to him. He must be on my team. Xander Schauffele.
Oh, you love that guy.
Xander
so much.
Schauffele is my second overall selection.
All right, I'm going to scoop me up a golfer now. I need someone to ride Mystic Dan to victory. Why not? He's hot right now, and the last time he won a major, it was at this very course, Valhalla, in 2014. I'm going to take Rory off the board.
Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
I believe he's second. Is he picked second?
He's second highest odds, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, shortest odds, I mean.
Some issues with Rory this week,
BK. Is BK?
Wait,
BK?
what happened to Rory? He said something that happened to Rory.
Well, he's going through a divorce,
personal,
I think.
yeah.
Oh, that'll just motivate him more.
Okay, all right.
He's
There's more money to divide at the end of that divorce. That's what you want.
Boy.
I'm going to stay with the Preakness. Give me 6-1 Imagination.
Oh, did you get both Bob Baffert horses?
I'm not sure. I'm just picking horses.
Okay.
He's just picking winners. He's like, I'm just picking winners.
Okay. Well, I don't like the way this is going. I feel like I need to get in the horse game. Okay. I'm going to get in the horse game.
All
in
right.
the third round, I'm going to take Tuscan Gold.
Okay.
The stablemate of one Sierra Leone. And the trainer is Chad Brown, who's won 2 Preaknesses in the last 7 years.
Look at you.
Ooh.
Old Chad Brown there. All right, I'm going to pick a horse that really stunk it up for Scott in the Kentucky Derby. Yet for some reason they're letting his little withers.
I love this horse.
They're letting him gallop away here. I'm going to go with Catching Freedom at 6-1.
I think you're going to be happy with Catching Freedom.
He's a 3-year-old, you know that, and he's a deep closer is what I hear about him.
He
he's
is a deep closer. Well, he went from 15th to 4th. So yeah, he certainly is.
All right.
Okay. All right, BK, third round pick.
Let's see.
Go another horse.
Should I go another horse? I would take the horse.
Oh no.
Brooks Koepka.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Give me Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
Live horse.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going 4th round now. I got 2 golfers and 1 horse. here's a guy, he's not playing great on the LIV Tour, but he always kind of gets up for majors. He kind of gave it a run there at the Masters, and he's got a couple of fourth-place finishes in the PGA Championship. I'm going Bryson DeChambeau.
Wow. Yeah, I like it. Am I up now?
You are.
Oh, I hope so, because I've got
You've got 2 horses and 1 golfer.
Okay, I need another golfer. I think I'm going to go with a liver too, a LIV golfer, John Rahm. Give me John Rahm.
Ooh, solid.
Right. Give me Ludwig Oberg.
Is that a horse
or
a golfer?
That's a golfer.
Okay.
So there we go. We went 2 and 2 on all of them, didn't we?
Okay, I think so.
Dang, I was going to go with all 3 horses, but you got.
No, I've got three golfers.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Who's your horse? Oh,
none of your business. All right.
Let
me see here. Okay. All my horses are off my big board. I had a big board.
Well, you're done with them then.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I just feel like I can ride Tuscan Gold to the finish line.
That's your only horse?
Hang on. I can't do that, can I? I gotta get a different guy. Okay, I'm sorry. My big board has already been taken up. I don't even know who's left. How many horses have we taken?
Well,
there's only 9 in the whole field.
Exactly.
So
you got 2, 4 left.
I'm not going to tell you one though, because you might take my next one.
I'm not taking that guy. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2. I don't love this. I don't love it, but I'm gonna go Seize the Gray. Seize the Gray.
Okay.
It's a 15-1. Yeah, I don't love this one, but
that's what I've been doing with my hair recently.
Yeah,
seizing the gray, just leaning into it. All right, my turn.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the other Bob Baffert horse, Imagination. Wait,
no, he already took that.
Oh, crud. Oh, what am I going to do?
Sucker.
Where's the first Bob Baffert horse?
I think it's
that was Muth.
He's got both. Muth. He's got both of them.
Forget this. I'm going back to golfers. I've already got my winner horse locked up anyway.
Wait, you got 2 horses. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it, but one of them's a winner.
Okay.
Oh, man. This is harder than I thought it would be. So I like Victor Hovland. Give me Victor Hovland.
Okay.
Fine. I'll take Victor Hovland.
Hovland it is. All right. You're into the 5th round, BK. You've got you started with a couple of horsies, and now you got 2 golfers in back-to-back picks. What are we going now?
How many picks are we making total?
6 total.
6 total. Wow. Give me Colin Morikawa.
Is that a horse or a golfer?
That's a good pick. Okay, Colin Morikawa. And with my last pick,
get you one of those dark horses. Get you one of those long shots.
Yeah, I will.
And by that, I mean Tiger Woods.
I'm going to take Tiger Woods.
Oh, he did.
He won at Valhalla back in 2000. Let's see if we can. What?
Come on, man. Okay, it's all right.
I'm taking Tiger Woods.
Good.
We're going to have a magical weekend in Valhalla.
I hope so. That'd be fun to watch.
All right. You're a silly man. Although that would be great. Would be fun to watch.
All right, you're up, Chris. Make your last pick and hush up.
I'll try. Gosh, the horses. I want another horse. I really do.
There's a couple more. I think Big Dusty.
I don't like any of those losers.
Frankenbeans.
Those all look like. Where is the one? Let's see.
There's only like one left. I think it's
I got a long shot here. Give me Uncle Heavy. Wouldn't it be funny if Uncle Heavy won? I'm gonna throw my child's.
When the sun comes
I'm gonna put my son's college fund on Uncle Heavy.
When the sun goes down.
Oh, that's Uncle Cracker.
Oh, okay, close.
Isn't that Uncle Cracker?
Yeah, I think so.
My pick.
Yeah, last pick.
Last pick. Give me Joaquin Niemann, not Newman, Niemann.
Yeah, you had this guy last.
You like that guy.
Yeah, you do love him. All right, that concludes it. And I think, let's see. So BK ended up with 4 golfers, 2 horsies. Chris, you got
3
1,
and 3,
2.
I believe, right?
Yeah, you got Uncle Heavy, closed it up. And I got 2 horses, 3 golfers, and 1 extreme long shot in Tiger Woods.
There you go.
I'll take it.
All right.
That concludes the Fairways and Furlongs draft, and we'll enjoy watching. Coming up on the other side, BK's got a nice little game for us. Is it a race car driver or is it a horse name? When the Nod Pod continues. Welcome back to the No Off Days podcast. Sing a little Uncle Cracker during the commercial break. Do you want to kick
It's
off?
a tribute to one of my horse selections, Uncle Heavy.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. Like, we took 7 of the 9 horses in the field. So if you are a gambling man, then you might want to put money on Mugatu and Just Steel.
Those are
the 2 horses we did not pick.
That's your 1-2 finish there.
All right, let's bring in BK. Brian, you've dialed up another fun game for us where you're going to test our knowledge in sports we don't know a ton about.
What I'm going to do is give you a nickname, okay? Or a name. I'll give you a name, and you tell me, is this a Preakness horse winner or a race car driver's nickname?
Okay. Oh.
Pretty fun.
Right? I don't think I can tell you.
I think you left out the nickname portion.
Well, it's not. I can't go Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, I thought you were Richard Childress.
Yeah, you know.
But this isn't the horse's nickname. This is what he's called.
This is the horse's actual name.
Okay.
Or a race car driver's nickname.
Okay. I can't tell you one Preakness winner. Oh, I guess we had a Triple Crown a few times, but outside of that.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Number 1, Wonder Boy. Horse or race car driver? Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy. That is definitely a horse.
You know, that's a race car driver. That's what they originally called Jeff Gordon before he became...
When he was sponsored by Wonder Bread?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's a race car driver.
Cato, good job. It's Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt gave him the nickname, and Jeff Gordon hated it.
Yep.
Absolutely hated it.
He said, I wanted to be called the Rainbow Warrior.
Get ready for the next one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that Wonder Boy is also not a horse.
No, it's not a Preakness winner.
You can't fact check, BK.
You can't sit there and go through the history.
No.
I'm sure there's a horse named Wonder Boy.
It sure is a race. Yeah.
But these are Preakness winners.
It has to be a Preakness winner, Scott.
See.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't start trying to... This is BK's show.
No, it's not my show.
Right.
Well, no, this is your segment, though.
Okay,
you have
all right, my bad.
Okay, here we go. Captain Nice, horse or driver?
Captain Nice, definitely a horse. Yeah, without question.
Yeah, there is no way anyone would get behind the wheel on a track and let people call him Captain Nice. Yeah, that's a horse.
Sorry, guys. It is a driver. Mark Donohue. 3 wins over his career, including the Indy 500. Get ready for the next one.
Okay. All right.
Scott's 0 for 2.
Very polite driver.
How about the Gallant Fox?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Now that sounds like gallop, which is something horses do, but I think BK's trying to do another fast one. So I'm going to go race car driver. I'm switching.
Yeah. Okay. So you're thinking this was a race that was on Fox, and that's why they this driver named him that.
Yep.
I think this is a horse. I think I recall. Is this a Triple Crown winner? I believe this could be.
This is the 1930s Preakness winner.
Okay.
Second ever Triple Crown winner, Gallant Fox.
There he is. Doesn't he look regal?
He does. Yeah.
The horses used to be made like horses back then.
Was that the horse's nickname, or was that his?
That's his
given
running
name?
name.
That's what his parents named him. When he fell out of his,
name.
you know, they.
His name was
Gallant
Richard Fox.
All
right.
How about this one? And I'm going to butcher this. The Elocutionist. Elocutionist.
Okay. Now, what is an elocutionist?
It is like a town crier, like a public barker kind of thing.
Oh, Scott. That's Scott.
Yeah.
The elocutionist. Bucks win. Bucks win. He rides around on his bicycle throwing
Get your
new...
paper here.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say I can't imagine a race car driver ever being called the elocutionist. That just, that's like a... That's a $10 word right there. Let me go racehorse.
Okay.
Preakness winner.
That's a lot to put on a little the silk that they wear, though. I'm going to go race car driver because this is where somebody thought they were being cute and giving him a name like the electrician or something, but they mispronounced it. So this is a misnomer. So this is a race car driver.
Scott is on the board.
Finally!
1976 Preakness winner.
Look at it.
Elocutionist.
Yeah. Elocutionist. Now, what year was that?
76.
Yeah. That word has not been used since then. All right.
I was about to leave it out because I could not say it.
But you did it.
Thank you. I worked hard. Here we go. The Charging Comet. Or Charging Comet.
The Charging Comet. Because it's the Charging Comet.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to go race car driver here. I'm gonna go race car driver.
Jerry was a race car driver. Good Primus song, by the way. I think it's a race car driver. I don't think they would name a horse that.
The Charging Comet. Guys, it is a race car driver. It's Charlie Glotzbach.
Of course.
Four-time NASCAR winner.
Charlie the Charging Comet Glotzbach.
Set the world record one time at 199 miles per hour.
No wonder they called him a Comet.
Yeah.
Now, Glotzbach would be a good name for a horse, though.
Yeah.
Just Glotzbach.
That would have been good to find one, yeah. So how about that?
I think there'd be a better
That was a
nickname.
fun game. Now, don't we get to, did we keep points there or no? No, we didn't. Okay.
I got 2 right.
All right.
Out of what, 6?
Well,
something like that.
I think, yeah.
Not very good, but
All
I'm going
right.
to make up for it with our Fairways and Furlongs draft. I feel like I nailed that one.
You got Scheffler right, probably.
Yeah, I got both my number ones. I got Tuscan Gold and Scotty Scheffler. Very good. You guys are toast this week.
All right.
All right, much thanks to our crew here at NodPod headquarters. We have another one in the books, talking a lot of football this week.
Gosh, we did.
And we're only going to do that more and more as we approach.
We'll be counting down every week.
100 days
93 days away now.
All right, here we go. Until the next time we are on, there are no off days.